Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, lots of goings on in Port Charles, but we've got soap opera royalty here. Tonja Walker's in studio with us next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, look at that. Nice little quiet, sedate intro to the GH Report. Yes. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is the show that breaks down everything that goes on in Port Charles, and we are so fortunate this week to have a very special guest helping us do that and talking about her career as well. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
And I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, so you can always follow me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
There you go. And Papa Bear James Latt Jr., he will be back here soon enough. Next week's the Super Bowl, so we're still figuring out what our schedule is going to be, but for sure, February 12th, he's going to be here. And as he's posted, Michelle Stafford is going to be in the studio on that on February 12th. It's very cool. But that's 2 weeks from now. Let's talk about the cool stuff that we have going on right now in studio, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you've loved her on Capital, Passions, One Life to Live, and, of course, General Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, Tonja Walker.
Hey, Frank. Thank you for having me.
What? Thank you for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I had to fight all this traffic I'm not used to, but I made it. Yeah. It's so nice to meet you too, Lacretia.
Oh, you too.
Yeah, we've been like email pals for a week, so it's nice to be here. Yeah.
Let's real quick. Let's just jump right into General Hospital, of course, since we're talking about the GH Report.
Of course.
So you play Olivia back in the '80s for a few years. You sleep with Duke. Kind of, as they describe, almost like a Fatal Attraction.
It was Fatal Attraction, definitely. Yeah.
Was that a deliberate choice in the time they kind of wanted to kind of emulate that?
Yeah, I did that quite a bit actually. They would do. It was so much fun. We had more time back then. We had time to rehearse, and there were always films that came out with wonderful female characters doing these, incredible different things, and they would sort of take a little bit of that and find a character on the show and kind of give that opportunity to that actress. And I was so fortunate to get to, because Glenn Close is like my favorite. And so instead of killing rabbits, I killed a lovebird, that sort of thing. And it was just a blast. I had the best time. It was hard because it was very emotional. But it was very popular. It was a very popular thing. And Anna and Duke were the couple on the show at the time. So breaking up Anna and Duke was really tough, because people loved them. I went to the grocery store out here with my mother, who came to visit, and I bought a couple things at the drugstore, like milk and yogurt and a magazine or something. And the lady behind the counter looked at me and said, "You drink milk?" Like I'm a bloodsucker, like it's all I do, is drink blood or something like that. My mother said, "Yes, she does. She's my daughter, and she drinks milk. She's acting, only acting." So that was really kind of funny. And now I've come back, and I also did a Fatal Attraction storyline as soon as I went to One Life to Live, with Alex and Beau and this character by the name of Cassie, who was played by Laura Bonarigo. And I drowned her in Loon Lake, and that was really popular too. But she didn't actually drown. So I always end up in a mental institution after these events. And it's an ongoing theme.
Now, you're talking about meeting fans in public there. Fans, you also have a chance to interact with us as well. You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, Lacretia has the chat up and running. So feel free, if you have any comments about the show, or you want to ask a question to Tonja as well, feel free to put that in the chat. We're also going to open up the phone lines in a little bit to give you a chance to call in and talk to Tonja directly. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But so you do that for a few years, and you on General Hospital and relished the role. But then, of course, they write you off the show.
That was a weird time because Wes Kenny was the producer at the time, and I was supposed to come on for 13 weeks, and then it got extended to 13 more and 13 more and 13 more, and then they had the writer's strike, and so Wes and I worked together to create a 2-week period where Olivia would hijack the helicopter at the mental institution that Colton Shore, who was the White Knight on the show, he was the pilot, and so he would be in the helicopter, and I had a gun, of course, and So I hijacked the helicopter from the mental institution, and we're flying over mountains, and the gun goes off, and he gets shot, and we crash, right, in the mountains in the snow, and then for the next 2 weeks, we're in this cabin, and it's just the two of us for 2 weeks on TV, and we find out why Olivia was the way she was, how she was skipped over for position. She was the smartest and the oldest child in the family, and she was skipped over for everything. The boys, because it was a mafia thing, they were always featured, and they were always favored, and she really was treated like a second-class citizen, even though she was smarter than all the boys were, and she loved the business, and she just loved being in charge, and they would never give her any power, ever give her any fairness. And she really knew that she was probably just unlovable, and she never felt loved by her family. And so Colton starts to die, and Olivia saves his life and realizes that he actually wanted to hear from her, wanted to listen to her. And so she turned around and said she would go back and repent for what she'd done. This is this fast version of a soap opera storyline, you know. So she goes back to Port Charles, and she goes to the judge to confess her sins, and her brother shoots her in the back, and she gets killed because Wes Kenny got let go from the show, and this other guy named Joe Hardy came on, and he got rid of me and like 7 other people. The show ratings went from 1 to 7. He left. He was escorted to the door, I think. And then they wrote me this wonderful role on One Life to Live, and that was fantastic. They brought in Gloria Monty, Luke and Laura again at GH, and everything went back to number 1.
So what's it like when you know, as much as you enjoy the role, you are gone from the show, but then all of a sudden now, it comes 2016, you get a call back from producers at GH, and we would love to have Olivia back on the show. What's your reaction when that first call comes to you?
Praise the Lord. And I'm not kidding. It was just like God called me on the phone. Frank will like that. Frank Valentini was my God that day. No, I have a 17-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old daughter, Bella and Abby. And Bella is going to college, and Abby's graduating from high school. And I had asked myself, like so many women do, you know, after you devote your life to your children and your family and your husband, what's going to happen to me now? And I really didn't know, and I thought it was too late to get anything on television anymore, and too long since I'd been in front of anybody, and it was upsetting on the one hand, and then I went, well, you know, it was a good run on the other hand, but there was this little disappointment I had, you know, that maybe, I mean, I did produce a film in '05 that made lots of money with Zac Efron and Bill Cobbs, and I did help produce a Broadway show that got nominated for Best Play, called Enchanted April. But I still love acting, and and I was on the radio, like I told you, with the Straight Talk Live with Tonja Walker thing, and I've done a lot of real estate shows and things because I got into real estate, but like, when am I gonna, is my dream that I had in my heart gone? Was that it, you know? And so many women go through that. I don't think men go through it as much because they usually don't give up their whole career to have a family.
Very true.
But a lot of women do. You say you're not going to, and then you have these 2 babies that you can't imagine leaving, and if you can afford it, you don't want to not be with them, and they're the most important production of your life. So, but then when they grow up and they're flying the nest, you're like, what's going to happen? I had talked to some spiritual guides, people that I surround myself with, and one of them was a psychic, and she said, I'm hearing from your angels that you think you're too old and you're too fat, and it's too late for you to do what you had in your heart to do when you were a kid. I was like, wow. God, were you like, did you have a bug in my room, or? And she said, so if you can find the thing, and this is what I want to encourage people to do, find that feeling that you had when you first started doing what it is that you knew was the right thing for you to do with your life. And that feeling will make you feel, at least with me, it made me feel like invincible. It made me feel like I knew doors would fly open. I knew that I was supposed to do this. I knew I was going to be well received. I knew I was going to do well. I just knew it. You know, I knew it because I knew what I was supposed to do. I just knew it. And I didn't think I was better than anyone or compared myself to anybody or competing with anybody. I just knew that there was enough for all of us and that my time was now. So I started listening to Joel Osteen a lot. I started listening to Wayne Dyer all the time, which is what she told me to do. And she said, like, by the middle of September, something will change. And so the middle of September, Frank called. He's our executive producer. And he said, are you interested in possibly coming back to the show for a few episodes? It was like amazing. And I said, yes, absolutely. I'll carry your bags. I'll paint the walls. What do you want me to do? I don't care. I'll do it, you know. And he said, well, it's not sure yet. I have to talk to the writers. I have to talk to the network. I have to do this, all these different things. But I'll let you know, right? So I immediately went on a trip and lost 10 pounds, right? And because God knows, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I knew I had that housewife extra whatever that I still have a little of that left, actually. And then I called him like a month later after I came back from this retreat I do in Utah, where I climb mountains for like all day. It's really fun. And I called him and I said, you know, in case I want to get a nose job or a hair transplant or, you know, get my ears changed or anything like that, you got to give me like a month notice. Can you give me a month? And he said he could. So soon after that, he called and said, you're coming back. And it'll be 12 shows. And I said, okay. And then he said, it could be 18. I said, okay. And we can't pay for your coming out here. We can't pay for the hotel. They can't even know in New York, I guess they do now, that I'm bringing you in because they don't bring people in from out of town. They don't do that anymore. They don't have the funds to do that anymore. I said, I got my family there. I've got my sister there. I got places to stay. I can rent a car. Don't worry about it. I'll fly myself out. It's not for the money. It's for my love of doing what I do. So that's what happened, and I'm still here. Yeah.
That's good. We have some good comments here in the chat. Sawyer Olive says, Tonja looks great. She doesn't look a day over 30.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look at that.
And Simran Singh, it's amazing listening to her.
Thank you.
And, of course, our Kelly from PEI says, you are just gorgeous, Tonja.
Oh, my God. I have no idea. I was doing my makeup in the car. Of course, it was a long trip. I came from Manhattan Beach, where my sister lives, and it just took me forever. I talked to somebody in your staff, and he said, I live in Inglewood. I know how long it takes. I said, but what if I'm late? What if I'm late? He said, it's okay. It's okay. So, yeah, I was like doing my mascara at the red lights. You know?
So, Tonja, what is, comparing General Hospital working back in the late 80s, early 90s to General Hospital working on it today? What's different? How has it changed? What do you miss?
How many people have you asked that question of?
Not many. We
Really?
haven't had an opportunity for somebody that has been on the show for a while.
And then come back.
I swear to you, I wish I had brought. Do you hear that low noise? That low,
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it sounds like a really nice low C. The most pages I ever had was when Anna and Olivia were in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Okay. And now you can only see reruns of that, like with fuzz, because it was VHS and everybody's tapes are molded, and you know. But I can't even have it on my reel because it's like really. But it was some of the best work I ever did. First of all, Finola Hughes is a remarkable actress, and working with her and the characters together had such a disdain for one another that these scenes were killer, right? And it was 57 pages in one day.
Wow.
And I was in an elevator, so the area I was in was like 5 by 5, and she was on what was supposed to be the top of it, and it was a little platform that was like 5 by 5, and we shot it, and if they didn't like it, we got to do it again, and we had dress rehearsal and notes, and then we shot it, and if we didn't like it, we could do it again, and those days are so over. Now we do No rehearsal. None. We have a camera blocking where you stand where the director wants you to. You move what you want to move. You know what blocking is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, you kind of, like, while they're doing all that technical stuff, as the actor, you talk to the other actors and you say, you know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say that. Do you think you could blah blah blah? And then you go to get your makeup on and you get your hair done and you do your clothes and you come back to the set and you tape the darn thing. Like, boom. And they do it so fast, and there's very little, I mean, unless somebody's hair catches on fire, they keep going.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody knows that now, so everybody comes in really prepared. I've been working every day, which is really amazing, but they're trying to squeeze a lot of shows in a short period of time because I got to go home. My daughter's still in high school, and my husband's there. He came out for a couple days, but, you know, I got to get back home. So,
you miss it, of course.
Yeah. So we did pieces of 6 or 7 shows on Friday. This week I'm shooting at least 7 shows. And the amount of work is extraordinary, and there's special effects and stunts and all kinds of things like that. And after this, I'm going to go work with a coach because I was getting overwhelmed, you know, with, like, how can I do this? You know, because she's got the crazy thing, and then she's got the is she really crazy thing, and then she's got this hallucination situation, and she's just got so many different wonderful things to play, and I don't want to mess it up. I want to do a really good job. I want it to be believable. And there were a couple days this past week that we shot that I just wasn't connecting, and it was just so much material in such a short period of time, and also they left out the Colton piece, and they didn't explain where I've been. So I wrote my own backstory, which a good actor does, and I created this backstory that because when I left the show, I wasn't crazy anymore, and now I'm back and I'm crazy. When I left the show, I was over Duke and moved on. When I'm coming back, it's like that never happened. So I had this disconnect inside my heart about it, and so I decided that a wax character was made of her and put in the coffin, so that's who was in the coffin. And then her father had people in the Chinese mob and the Russian mob, and she was told that, you know, we're sending you over there, you have to stay over there, you have to work for them, you'll be fine. And I was tortured, and I was put in cages, and I was made to do things I didn't want to do, and eventually I used my feminine wiles and my intelligence and, you know, my abilities to create my own little power structure within these very dangerous mob people. And but she cracked. I mean, the only thing she went back to when she was in those situations was this fantasy thing with Duke. So so that's what I've been trying to connect with, you know, throughout this whole thing. I don't know if it's working because I haven't seen anything except the 19th I was on. So, and I haven't seen anything since. So it's like recording an album and doing all the cuts on the album and hearing no playback, and it's going to be released to the world, and you've never seen it. And it's...
I really like that backstory, but we have a different take here. John Seep here in the chat is like, do you think that maybe when Olivia died, she went into witness protection, moved to Lambview, and became Alex Olanoff?
I'd like them to come up with that.
Yeah.
Because I know how to play that one. Yeah, this has been challenging. Yeah.
So when you get the script and you see that they're not really addressing where your character was left at the end of your run on the GH originally, can you go and talk to the writers or Frank and say, I just have a question, like how am I supposed to make this happen?
You know what he said?
Figure it out?
We don't want a nice person coming back to the show. I want somebody to come back that's evil. Everybody loves the Duke and Anna and Olivia's storyline. So if you want to come back and be nice, we can't do this. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'll be the
Yes.
biggest witch you
There you
ever
go.
saw. So that's it, you know. And he also said, you know, your brother tried to kill you. He did kill you. I mean, as far as he was concerned, and you know, you loved this man, and you've never, and as because he killed you, you lost decades and decades of your life. So you have a really good reason to be, you know, PMSing right now, and to say the least, you know.
But you're coming back, and you're not the only Jerome female now. Now all of a sudden you have Ava on the canvas as well too.
I haven't gotten to work with her yet. I am just dying.
I can't wait for those
just
scenes.
dying, and I'd like there to be an explanation. I really don't want Olivia to be as crazy as she's being written, but you know, there's other things that are being written that that could make it be not so. Maybe she's not. So then that was done before, you know, where and there's a lot of people that watch the show that were not born. Hello, so they don't really care if I think, oh well, you know, I love blah blah blah. They're like, who cares? You know, what are you doing now? You know, what do you got for me lately? And I want to entertain those people. I want to bring those people in. I mean, I want to bring all my fans back, but I want to create new ones. And so so that's you know, that's the key. And then I have a lot of people that tweet me, and I've got like, I don't know, a bunch of Twitter people. And I've never worked at this. I was a mother, so I never really worked at building up and I don't know how to do Instagram at all, no how. I don't know how to do Snapchat, no how. But Twitter I really do like, and Facebook I know how to do. And I have too many people on Facebook, so I can't get anybody to leave my personal page to go to my public figure page, and I've got way over 5,000, and like I've people like 5,000 waiting to be friends, you know.
Wow.
So I need to figure out how to move everybody over because I want everybody to be available for me to communicate with. But anyway, so yeah, so I want to make the people happy that were there before, and make the new people happy too.
Well, going back, you're talking about like fans and stuff. You're reconnecting with Finola Hughes. Yeah, you shared some, you know, just some really meaty scenes with. What's it like all of a sudden now to come back on the show and reconnect with somebody after so many years?
This is all a dream come true for me. It really is. You know, after you work 12-hour days every single day, with tremendous amounts of work, you know, I mean, like this week I told you I have like 1.5 inches of page. It's just me talking, this much. And that's why I'm going to see somebody after this, because I just want to make sure that I give them a very, very, very best. I've always been that way, though. I'm sort of a perfectionist, which was the first thing this guy said to me, because you just have to connect with the truth of who you are to this character and get rid of that perfectionism thing. And I went, oops. But yeah, it's you can take it for granted. You know, you can start complaining. You know, you can find yourself complaining about the thing you've wanted like for 20 years. I've been married, it'll be 20 years. I've wanted this for 20 years. And I found myself going, God, I am so tired. Oh, I haven't had a day off. I am just so tired. There's no time to see any friends. There's no time to do anything fun. You know, I don't have any time. I haven't even had time to go to the bathroom. I don't have time to eat, nothing. It's been crazy. And then I'm like, hello, who said that? Shut her up, you know, get back into the gratitude of the fact that this is what you wanted more than anything in the world, and you got it, you know? And, you know, even wonderful, wonderful things, your head can make you say, you know, hug your kids every day like you did the day you had them. You know, remember the feeling that you had when you had your baby. And my God, you were the happiest person on the planet. When you met that guy and you fell madly in love with him, and oh my God, you were on cloud 9. Get back in touch with that. You know, that's what I had to do. Because I really was. I was like going, oh my God, I'm so tired of this. I was like, shut up, you know?
Now, one thing that has changed since you were on the show is your brother's changed. And I know Lacretia, huge fan of the maid over, Julian Jerome.
Everybody is.
Well, I love Canadians, and who can be?
He's a Canadian?
Yeah, he's from French Canada. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that. He doesn't tell me everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, but he's a really good actor, and he's real handsome. I thought they could do. I even said this one day. I said, "Well, incest is bad."
Yeah, he and Moore West have inappropriate chemistry, so why not you two?
There you go. Yeah, I know.
Those Jeromes are like Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
right?
everybody
Yeah.
loves that Alexis. What they call it, Jew Lexus. Is
Yes.
it Jew Lexus? Yeah. Somebody sent a big thing of balloons for Julexis to the makeup room the other day, and it had Julexis on it.
Oh,
That is
And,
cute.
and we're all going, what's that? You know? And I said, oh, it's Julexis. I know about this because my daughter watches Vampire Diaries, and they loved it when they put the two names together and everything. They're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh, I got that. You know, I might not be up on everything, but I know about the putting the two names together thing.
Yeah, what would Olivia and Duke be?
Divya?
That's cute.
Ooh, there you go. Very nice.
Yeah, maybe.
So, Tony, just in terms of just process, when you get, as you're saying, like about 1.5 inches of pages for the week, how do you go about breaking that down? And do you have to say everything verbatim, or as long as you get just what the intent of the scene is, you can kind of change the language?
Well, you have to have respect for the people that are getting paid to write the script, right? And I would love it if there were time to have more of a collaborative effort with, you know, the writers and the actors and the directors and the thing before we got there. When I found things that, like I'm supposed to say, Julian's tied up, and I've got him tied up to like a radiator or something. And he's got a bag over his head, you know, like I said, it's not good. And I come in the room, and he goes, "Is that you, you witch?" And I wanted to say, "Well, good morning to you too." I thought that was funny, right? And it's different than what they wrote. So if I come up with something that I think is funny, or is better, or might be better, or I've said the same thing, which is in another part of this script, over and over and over and over, and I have another thing that I might be able to say, then I let them know ahead of time, and I ask them if it's okay. And I think everybody does that, you know, because, you know, there's a reason why they write it. A lot of times you say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again for the people that haven't seen the show in a long time, or the people that are just tuning in, and it's, you know, it's exposition that needs to be said. But if you've said it over and over and over, and they just tuned in, they probably tuned in last week once, and they heard it then too. So I'm hoping that I can change this one little piece. But generally, you try to say what they write, you know.
So for you, had you kept watching the show, or life and everything, being a mom, kind of took you away from watching GH? Did you start watching it when you got the call from Frank, just to kind of refamiliarize?
Yeah, so I watch it at Christmas. You know what happens at Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm watching it at Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, I had heard Tony Geary went to Holland, and now he's in the mental institution with Alexis. I love this. This is so good. And I'm thinking all these things are happening that aren't happening. And then I come back and I'm like, so where's Tony? I guess he comes back for periodic appearances. And they're like, no, that was a rerun. I'm like, no. So then I watched it a few more times, and I caught up a little bit with what's going on. There's so many people on the show that, you know, that's why they really don't have to have the space for me, you know, permanently, I don't think, unless you all write into everyone you know.
That's right.
No, but they really have a lot of people, and a lot of really talented people. And so it gets a little confusing for me with Lulu and Nina. Nina I know because I know Michelle Stafford for like 100 years. But there are people that I didn't, like Sam I wasn't familiar with, even though I knew her from Dancing with the Stars. I didn't know her. There were just a lot of beautiful women. There's a Charlotte the baby.
Yeah, she's the little girl.
Yeah, her mom. And then this woman that's with Franco, who's also gorgeous. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she's really good. And then there's Hayden, who's with, I don't remember. Finn, who's Michael Easton.
From One Life to Live?
Yeah, I've known
Michael
him forever.
Easton.
So there's these women and men that I know them from different things, but I don't know their storyline. I did watch Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Patrick's. I knew him from New York. We used to play, like, he said this to me the other day. Because remember we used to play softball together with Michael Knight we had an ABC league, and we played in Central Park. And I'm like, yeah, I still can't hit the ball. But anyway, I could hit the ball and get to first base. That's about as far as I could go. Please don't throw it at me. I get very scared. So, you know, I'm a big fan of his, have been for years. So he's doing some work with Finola that is just to die. I mean, I just think it's to die for.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea who he is, what he plays, or anything else. I just saw some scenes that are just to die for, with different kinds of colors, and it's just really, really wild. So.
Yeah, we actually had a fan ask earlier, Michael B., who wants to know if you're working with James Patrick Stewart there as Valentine.
Not yet.
Yeah,
not
no,
yet.
not yet.
But Frank has figured out with the writers, and I work with Gene Passanante, who I love, and Shelley Altman back in New York also. So this is just a really fantastic thing. They figured out how to have me work with everybody. So I am an equal opportunity destroyer. Yeah, I mean, every script I got, I was like, no, I don't do that, do I? Oh my God, did I do that? Oh, I didn't do that. Did I do that? Oh my God, I can't do that. No, I really do that. Oh my God, everybody's gonna hate me. They're gonna hate me. And I really felt that way. I was like, yeah. Because before because I had a family that, I had a dad and I had, and the story was written in such a way that it was easier to find redeeming qualities.
I just want to take a side tangent for a second there. You mentioned the ABC League playing softball. What's it like back in the who does the ABC team play in the softball league?
Well, it's the shows.
Yes, General Hospital, One Life to Live, All My Children.
Well, back home though, we only had All My Children and
yeah.
One Life to Live,
Yes.
right? So we had those two, and then we played the Guiding Light people. I mean, we all played each other. It was really really fun.
Yeah.
And then we would do them for charity. We do a lot of different games and things, not just softball, but. Jerry Verdorn still has this fantastic bowling tournament every year, and we raise money.
That's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, for I think it's juvenile diabetes, and we just do a lot of different things. Or Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, everybody shows up for that. It's just a lot of. There's always activities with all the daytime people to raise money for charity all the time, and it's so much fun because it's really the only time that you get to interact with people from other shows because they're working just as hard as you are. Mm-hmm. And, your social life is sort of fakakta when you're here. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We can guess on this.
It's not, but I've never worked this much because I'm leaving. I'm not going to, so they're squeezing so much in to a shorter period of time. I told that to a couple of the actors the other day. They said, how many days you working next week? I said, 5. How many days did you work last week? I said 5. How many days are you working the week after? I said 5. They could, every week? I said, and I'm leaving on the 10th, so just don't worry about it. Because everybody's always happy to have you. It's just that there's only 100 pages in a script, supposedly. And for every character that comes on, the amount of pages for the people that are already there, it kind of, they have to share those pages. Mm-hmm. So even much as they love having you, you're taking food out of their kid's mouth. They're not real thrilled. I mean, they're happy, but they're not so happy. They want to make sure that you don't, take too much of those pages. Everybody was that way on One Life to Live too. We were happy about people coming on, and then you'd also hear a lot of the veterans, which I haven't heard these veterans say, but I mean, in general, I just know the score. Everybody wants everybody to work a couple days a week. That's it. You don't want anybody to run off with the show. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and there's no hope. There's no chance for that. I mean, I was on for 2 days, and then I wasn't on for a week. So, so this week it starts back up again.
Ooh, that's going to be exciting. Because it had been your coming had been teased for so long, and there were just so many shots of your boy Rudge coming into a room and just looking into a corner and never seeing who he was looking at.
I didn't get paid for those.
No, I just didn't.
No, didn't get paid for those.
Or just finally when we got to see your hand and a little bit of your arm, we're like, oh, okay, we're getting closer.
I was like, did she have nice hands? Did you have nice? Yeah. So I know. So. I didn't want people to lose hope, so I told people that I was on this Thursday and Friday coming up, and or Thursday or Friday, because of all these preemptions with the inauguration, it kind of got messed up. So I think it's Thursday and Friday, or Thursday or Friday. If it's Wednesday, don't get mad at me. But then they said, don't tell any dates, don't mention any dates. We want people to watch all the time. And I said, well, I'm just trying to get the people that may not watch all the time to watch, and I don't want them to lose interest if they haven't, if they think, oh, that was 2 days and I'm not coming back or whatever. So I was trying, but I also am a team player and I want everybody to watch the show all the time.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
But if you want to watch just double more often, then you want to watch the days when Tanya's on.
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't.
No,
I'll
I'll
say
say
that.
it for you.
Oh,
I'll say it for
okay,
you.
okay.
In fact, we've been asking questions. So why don't we, and some people in the chat, but why don't we give our viewers a chance to actually call in and have a chance to ask a question for Tanya as well. Anthony's going to put the number on the bottom of the screen. So, folks, if you have a question for Tanya, you want to ask her about her time on GH, you want to ask her about One Life to Live, you want to even go back to the old days of like Capital and ask about that.
Oh my God.
Feel free to call in. Anthony's got the number on. In the meantime, we'll keep talking to Tanya until the screen pops up with a phone call.
That's my favorite. I love talking to people on the phone. I love really connecting with my fans. It's one of the reasons I love Twitter.
Well, when you first came
I'm
in,
at Tonja Walker, just so you know, at Tonja Walker. That's my Twitter hoo-ha. So.
when you were first in here doing your post for Facebook, there, you were just saying you were just so complimentary about your fans.
Oh, I love them.
What is your fan just I don't want to say like devotion, but just appreciation for your talents? What has that meant for you?
Everything, absolutely everything. Like, are you kidding? It's funny. I was making fun of. Well, I'm a big, huge Scandal fan. I mean, who isn't, right? And I was like, God, you know you're a big freaking star when you can say, you know what, gonna have a baby, gonna take a year off, they'll come back, right?
That's true.
Right? And then I thought, well, Tanya, you were gone for a really long time, and they're coming back.
That's right.
Like, oh my God.
They're excited to see you.
I probably won't work after this ever again.
Get
but
outta
but
here.
it feels really good right now.
Yeah, Kelly from PEI said, Kathleen Gotti was booked for 3 days and is still on the show after 3 years.
Is
so,
that right?
Yeah, you know what?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay.
Well, let's let the fan appreciation commence here. We've got a caller on the air right now. Caller, tell us your name and where you're from.
It's Kelly from PEI.
Oh, there
Oh,
she
look
is
at that.
already.
What's PEI?
It's Prince
Prince
Edward
Edward
Island,
Island.
Canada.
Yeah.
Tanya.
Oh, cool.
So, all right,
Hi,
Kelly,
Kelly.
what do you have to say for Tanya?
Welcome back, gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate it. Did you watch it before?
Little bit. I was in high school back when you were on.
Thanks a lot. It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad. I'm really glad you came back. I think that's great. It's wonderful.
You haven't changed a bit, girl, except for the short hair, which I love.
Oh, well, it's better. It's better. I've been in hair hell. We should really talk. I've been in hair hell. I came out here and I had this rock and roll kind of haircut, and I knew that Frank doesn't like short hair very much, so I wanted to get some long bangs. So I went to this place. I spent $1 I got these bangs. They were like asymmetrical. I didn't like it on TV. So then I went back to this guy, and he had to take those hair extensions out and put new extensions in, and da-da-da-da-da. Every Sunday, I was doing this yada-yada with my hair, right? And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm spending like all my money on these freaking bangs. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm working them. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to look like, right? So I wanted her to have an edgy look to her,
Well, I'm salt and pepper, so I'm going to say that way.
Well, if I didn't have really good hairdressers, I might be a little salty myself.
Anyway, the only thing I want to say is hands off my Canadian hunk, Julian.
In what way?
Don't hurt him.
He doesn't. I can't tell you, but
Don't hurt him too much.
you'll be fine.
Don't hurt him too much.
Okay. He does get close. I do get really mean to him though. But he killed me. So what do you want from my life? Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get Will to talk French to you. You'll melt.
Ooh. I think I'll do that tomorrow.
Oh, look at that.
He's from Montreal.
Thank you. I'll put that on my task list.
All right,
Go
Kelly.
for it.
Okay.
Thanks so much for calling in.
Thank you, Kelly.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
You too,
and
Kelly.
I am going to be watching you till you're off the air, and I wish you'd stay.
Well, I
God
might.
bless Frank Valentini.
They did say that if their response was really good, that they'd bring me back. So.
Oh, yes. All right. We have another call right now. Caller, where are you from, and what's your name?
Oh, did they go away?
Okay.
Oh, no worries. All right, caller, what's your name, and where are you from?
Hi, Hi, it's Simran from Florida.
Simran, how are
Hi.
you? Look at this. We've had Tonja Walker here. What would you like to say?
Well, first, I just want to say welcome back to the show. I never used to watch back then because I wasn't born. So
No excuse.
I was
That's
talking
no-
about that earlier.
I
Yeah.
watched it on YouTube, Simran. I wasn't born yet either.
well, anyway, whatever, Lacretia.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the one day that you were on, it was really interesting to see the dynamic between you and Julian. And I hope that you were with scenes with Julian, right?
That's right, honey. That's right. And
Okay,
then,
I'm sorry.
and then we had
I'm
that.
like
And then I
everywhere
had
right
that. Then I had.
But I
yeah.
really want to see you and Ava together because I think that would
Me
be
too.
killer.
Me too.
And we mentioned earlier about the Ava and Julian thing. Let's not talk about it again. It's awkward. But I want to know are you gonna have scenes with Kelly Monaco, who plays
Oh,
Sam?
yeah.
I love Sam's growing family, and I want to know if
yeah.
you're gonna have scenes with her.
Oh yeah. That's all I can tell you.
Oh.
Do not miss. Those are do not miss shows.
Ooh.
They really are. They're really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I work
awesome.
with
I'm really glad you're on the
yeah.
show again. Hopefully you stay around
Thank you.
for a really long time.
Thank you. Thank you. From your mouth to
I
God's
just
ears.
want to comment on a couple things from this week,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Sure.
Go ahead, Simran. Floor is yours.
Well, I want to comment about Nell
No.
and
Nell.
how I am just completely over this story. They're not really giving us anything about what is the matter with her and what's her problem. And they just keep on doing this repeat. And now Michael is all like, oh, it's getting flirty. Like, no, dude, chill out. Like, calm down. Sabrina just died. Oh, and they actually mentioned Sabrina. She was actually a character. Wow, I can't believe.
Yeah,
She the one that just got married?
Sorry.
Who
I'm
just
so
got
over that.
married?
That was
And then,
Maxie,
Oh.
yeah.
the Nell stuff
The
is
last
getting
thing I
annoying.
wanna- Go ahead.
I said the Nell stuff is getting annoying because that character has been on for so long and we just have no forward momentum with
We're
that
like,
story.
who
So
is
it's been
she?
frustrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. I just want a little bit of something to kind of give us an insight as to what she's here for. That's it. And then last thing, I thought it was very ironic that Sam was the one saving Franco. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, she goes in to find his storage locker, and boom, there he is.
Although there was
Yeah.
there was one episode where he was still stuck in the storage cage, and then he like those like 5 or 6 little like just empty boxes kind of tumble on him, and he passed out. I'm like, well, come on. Now that I felt that was like those boxes would not knock
I
somebody
feel
out.
like if there was any other character stuck in the storage closet alone, you'd just be like, what the heck? But like Roger Holt just has me like stuck to the screen. I was just like, oh, this dude, he's so good.
He's funny.
He's so funny. And then I really want a little change of pace for Finn and Hayden because I'm really into them. But if they keep going this route with the Zen Zen and the weird back and forth and the nurse Amy being all of a sudden Hayden's friend, like, I can't do that.
No, it is frustrating that I don't know. I still don't understand why Finn is being so embarrassed about this addiction to a medication to a drug he was taking that was saving his life. Nobody would
Yeah.
fault him for having an addiction and needing help to get rid of it, and yet he's hiding it. It seems so frustrating to me.
I just feel like once they were cured, it was an opportunity for them to just put that story behind them and move on to something else. And I don't know why they stuck to it into an addiction storyline, especially if they have an addiction storyline going on with Alexis right now.
Very true. I mean, unless the idea is
So-
they join together in rehab and they're hanging out there. Then I
Yeah,
guess
that would be a good story.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, though. I love those two actors. I think because Finn is really like quirky, and then Alexis is she's so full of. She's not ready for any BS, but it'd be funny.
Yeah, I heard she became an alcoholic in like 3 weeks. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yes, it was a very
really
speedy.
fast. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm staying with my girlfriend's mom who watches the show faithfully. She's like in her 70s. And she said, well, I've never seen anything like this where the person, like, they have 2 drinks and then they have a bottle of wine and then, boom, they're an alcoholic.
That's right.
And I said, well, you never know, you know?
Yeah. That was really good wine.
Simran, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks, Simran.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, one left to live alumni, Roger Haworth, also on the show. Yes. So, what's it like? Have you been able to cross paths with him?
No, I've seen him in the hall, and we're in totally different scenes, totally different parts of the storyline. But I do work with just about everybody else. I even heard Ken Schreiner and I might have a scene together.
Get out of town.
I love Scotty Baldwin.
And there's a big, huge secret that can't tell you. And then there's Finn, Nola, and then there's Griffin. I'm going to work with him. I'm so excited about that. Oh, he's such a honey. Oh, my God. I feel like a 30-year-old lady looking at that guy.
I call him Dr. Hot Priest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there's more. There's just so many. I'm working with so many different people.
Well, all that excites me because it means you'll be leaving basically the little room that you've been cooped up in from that first appearance and what we've always seen you in. So it's nice to know you're getting out and about back in Port
Everywhere.
Charles.
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, it's just so well done and all over the place. So, yeah.
Now, you were mentioning your daughters before. Yes, and one has got a new album.
My niece has
excuse me.
my niece is in a band called Bahari, Bahari, means ocean in South African. And her name is Natalia Panzarella, and she's a magnificent singer. And if you look that up, you'll see they've got a huge following on Radio Disney and all over the place. They have a new song out with somebody by the name of Gray. And then my daughter Bella Davidson, I think she goes by Bella Grace. She's got songs out, and she's going to college, and she's a singer-songwriter. And then Abby wants to do the same thing, even though I really think that Abriana Davidson should be an attorney because nobody argues like she does. I can't win. She's 17, and I can't win. So there you go, Those are my kids.
At any point, did they kind of have an interest in doing acting? No?
Yeah, they always have. I wouldn't really allow it unless I was producing. So there's a movie I did called The Derby Stallion. They were 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, and I let them play Zac Efron's little sisters, and he was their big brother. And then I hired Billy Moses, who was an old boyfriend of mine, who I'm a big fan of still. And then my husband helped me, produce the show, and then I played Zac's mom, and then Bill Cobbs played the other lead in the show, and I had no problem having the kids there because I was there. But I never wanted to have, I've let them have lessons, and I've taught them myself, and I've let them have great voice teachers and things like that, and acting lessons in New York City, but I haven't seen too many young, just my own, just my own experience. I haven't seen too many kids who start really young, who don't get messed up, and I just wanted a normal, life for my children, and it was important to me, and it's important to me to graduate from college, There's a lot of that, people go, well, they're so, just let them go have a year off, or I'm like, they'll never go back. I mean, I know what happened to me. Mm-hmm. And I got discovered when I was 19, and I worked constantly till I was 37. And, I've been going back to college all the time ever since, and I've got, I've taken all kinds of classes and done the degree thing now, but, it took a long time, and it was hard, because everybody else comes first when you get older. So you need to nail that sucker down, and then you can go do whatever you want.
But still, what kind of awesome bragging rights have you given them that they can tell everybody, yep, you know what, we were in a movie with Zac Efron. Check that out, guys. Yeah. Suck it. We did that.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
So now, for those, what was it like taking on putting on the producer hat? Excuse me.
I just have one in my head. There are some actors that are my friends who absolutely have no interest. They want the producer to tell them what they're doing, who they're playing, and director to tell them where they're going and what they're, whatever. And they're not interested in all the headaches of being a producer. I'm the opposite. I love putting the whole project together. I love figuring out where all the pieces fit. I really do like that. It's fun for me. At the same time, it's a different world. There's so many different worlds in the producing world you know, what Frank has to do is totally different than what an independent movie producer has to do, which is totally different than it used to be, because there didn't used to be big, huge studios with independent movie arms like there are now. You know, I think it's really funny when Sony's got a little picture.
Yes.
You know, Sony doesn't have a little picture. You know, and so it's just a very different thing. And with the web, now you got a whole nother ball of wax, you know, so there's just a lot of different ways to do things. And I think the more you know, the better it is. The more you know how to do yourself, the better it is. So I'm always learning.
I think we've got a chance to take one last phone call right here. Look at this. A lucky caller came right back in. So, caller, tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Mike from L.A.
Oh, Mike.
Hey,
How are
Mike.
you, sir?
Hi, Mike.
You've got the lovely and talented
yeah.
Tonja Walker right here. What would you like to say?
How you doing?
Fine.
I'm a big fan. I want to know your thoughts on soaps, the soap world today, as it were, when you did it, when you were doing soaps back in your day.
Okay. You want to know what my thoughts are, how things have changed, or my thoughts are why there's so few of them, or why there became so few of them? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I was on One Life to Live when O.J. Simpson was on trial on TV. And we were preempted all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And so soap operas became like a friend, just like my nighttime shows are today. You know, I want to watch Blue Bloods. Now, Sammy makes fun of me all the time. She said, everybody in L.A. wonders, who watches Blue Bloods? And then she goes, my mom and dad do.
My grandparents love Blue Bloods.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but I love it, okay? Friday night at 10 o'clock. So if they don't have it on, I'm bummed, right? So it's the same thing with, and Madam Secretary on Sunday nights. I'm a big, you know, I'm sorry, that's the network I am with, a lot, except for Scandal. And, you know, there's a lot of shows I like, and HBO and Showtime, I love Billions, and they're all soap operas. They're all soap operas. Every show I like at nighttime is a soap opera where you have to know what happened last week in order to watch it this week. So it isn't like the genre has gone down in popularity. It's gone up in popularity. But the habit got broken for most of the country because everybody went to the TV at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock to watch their show, and it was O.J. Simpson on trial, right? And it kept going that way and going that way and going that way and going that way. They say it takes 21 days to break a habit or make a new one. And it was way more than 21 days. And so many people just got fed up and they left, and then they discovered, oh, well, I think I'll take a dance class at 3 o'clock, or I think I'll, have my daughter do ballet at 3 o'clock, whatever. And I think that, I know that was the beginning of the end of the ratings. Also, the ratings for O.J. Simpson were pretty high. So executives started looking at, gosh, that didn't cost anything. All we had to do was put cameras in a room. And there was reality TV. It was like reality TV was born.
Yeah.
And, if you want to watch a train wreck, we got a show for that. If you want to watch an accident, we got a show for that. We got a show if you want to watch somebody kill themselves. If you want to watch somebody be a complete, bad girl, we got a show for that. And it makes me sick. I agree. I do not watch that crap. I do not. I don't even watch The Bachelorette. I think it's disgusting to have girls trying to get this one guy to pay attention to them and watch him kiss other girls. I'd tell him to go take a hike off a short pier. I hate that show. And my daughter loves that show, my little ones, but my big daughter loves that show, Sammy loves that show, and my best friend Lori loves that show, and I'm like, how can you do that? It's just so demeaning. and the Kardashians, she was famous for what? For what? Having sex with just come on. It just makes me so sick, and I have girls, so I can't stand it. But I'm like the only person that feels that way. There's zillions of people that watch these shows.
TV either. It's awful.
Well, but there's a lot of people, and I love HGTV. Now that's reality.
That's good.
I love Jeopardy. Always have. But it became a way for people to not have to spend as much money at the networks and find other ways to make money. There's no union rules for all these contestants on these these reality shows, Survivor and all that, where they're eating worms and bugs and stuff like that. Ooh, yeah, I got to see that, right? I'm going to get up to watch that. Yeah, really, I'm going to tape that sucker. I just don't get it. I really don't. But I think it's an age thing. I think I'm too old to get it. You know, I think I'm just too whatever. But I just don't get it. I love the real estate shows, things I can learn, you know, things that are funny. I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy, all the HBO specials. But I just can't stand gross stuff. And I'm a union girl, you know. I mean, all those jobs are gone. You know, all those shows have taken speaking of food out of the mouth of my brother and sister actors. That's what happens. You know, you get these shows that are on for no, they don't cost anything, and they don't have to pay those people anything. There's no union rules. I don't even know when they have lunch. So, yeah, that's what happened. The good news is that there's still some of us left, and the other good news is that's everything at night. So it's not like the genre isn't still popular.
Well, I want to know, were you a fan of Dynasty, and what do you think about them rebooting it?
Where can I audition?
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be on the CW. It's talking about rebooting Dynasty.
Ooh, I got to get
Yes.
over there. That's what I think of that.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I would love to be on that show. See, that's my cup of tea. I love that stuff. I even still have some of those big shoulder pads, right?
So did you relate more to Linda Evans or Joan Collins?
Joan Collins.
There you go.
And that's a part I always play. So it might be fun to play something else. Probably not as much fun, though. Thank you so much for your phone call.
Yes, thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you. All right. Bye,
Have a good
guys.
one.
But, well, you said you hate The Bachelor, and I do as well, but I love Unreal on Lifetime, and it's soap, and it stars
Josh!
Yeah, Josh Kelly.
I love that show.
I
That
know.
show is a
Yeah.
scripted show.
I know, and it was so good, and it was cute when he came into the studio with me and Sam, and we're like, you know, her stepmom played Alex Olenoff. He goes, I know, she was my mom.
Oh, I
It was so
love that
cool.
boy.
Yeah.
I love that boy.
I love One Life to Live, so that was so cool.
And he looked like, did he look Amish that day?
Yes, he still had the beard.
Yeah, I'm tired of these guys looking
Yeah.
Amish.
I think he finally cut it off.
They look Amish. All the baseball players look Amish. I'm like, what's going on? Is it the era of the Amish? I don't get it. You know, they have no hair on their head. Most of them. Now he does, but a lot of them don't. Some of them have perfect, like, fabulous hair, and then they shave all their hair, and then they have this big, yucky, you know, like something could live in it beard. I don't get it. But anyway, he would look good no matter what.
Yeah. He's cute.
So, Tanya, I know you're kind of close to the end of your run on GH, but, I mean, hopefully the fan interest, and it should be, you should all be watching the shows, be writing in, tweeting Frank, and let him know.
How do they do that? I don't even know how they do that.
Well, Frank's rampant on Twitter, so you can get it.
I
you
think
can tweet.
it's at Frank Valentini.
Yeah, just tweet him.
Isn't it Valentini Frank?
Yes, it's Valentini Frank.
Oh,
You are
okay.
correct.
There you
I was
go.
like, he's got a
We need more Olivia
Fine.
Jerome on the show.
And Nathan Varney.
Varney.
Barney, yeah. I think
Yeah,
he's a pretty
his
big
is
person.
at Nathan Varney too, I think.
And what about the Soap Opera Digest and all that stuff? Do people write to them?
Yeah, yeah.
I think they do,
For sure.
Do they still have them?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
It was the 40th anniversary of the Soap Opera Digest this last year.
Is that
so, yeah.
right?
I know. I went to the party.
Oh, all right. Well, then we know they
It's
have
like
it.
that happened.
That's cool.
So, in addition to your work here in GH, you know, you had an idea you were mentioning for something else. If they want to, can you mention anything you have coming up? In addition to GH or anything else you want to share right now?
I'm going to move here. I'm moving here, so I have to sell my house at home and get it together and come out. I'm also working on a project with a Broadway producer in New York. So we'll see how that
Awesome.
goes. And, you know, I'm always doing something. You know,
Look at
just one of
that.
those-
Oh,
one
to have
of
Tonja
those
Walker out here on the
people.
West Coast would be very nice
Yeah.
as a permanent resident
Yeah, we'll
instead
be
of
back.
just teasing us.
I'll be back. My husband wants to move here. Oops.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, he wants to move here really badly, like this summer.
Well,
I
I
said,
mean-
we're going to lose money on our house. He's like, yeah, but we'll make it back up out there. I'm like, oh my God.
Who wants to fight another New York winter? Come on. Those
That's
are rough.
what he said.
That's right.
That's what he said.
All right, so you mentioned your Twitter handle one more time, Tanya. Give it out one more time for everybody.
At Tonja Walker, TonjaWalker.
And go to her Facebook fan page. Yes.
Yeah, my Facebook public figure page could really use some help there. And I have a really wonderful website. It's called TonjaWalkerOnline.com.
Awesome. Look at all that. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tonja Walker for coming in and spending the time with us today.
Thank you.
And folks, if you want to, as always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and everybody, thanks for hopping on the chat, calling on the phone. We really appreciate hearing from you today. Hopefully, we're still figuring out our schedule here. We'll tweet it out or put it on Facebook, too, in regards to next week, because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Yay!
So, yes.
Go Patriots!
Lacretia is not happy with that.
Sorry.
She is not. But definitely, folks, we'll be back here February 12th with Michelle Stafford and Papa Bear himself, James Lott Jr., in this very chair. But if you want to continue the conversation with us after the show's over, Lacretia, where can they find you?
You guys can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
There you go. Tweet her all your Patriot best wishes there. She wants to hear every single one of them.
Should have been the cowboy.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Folks, we'll see you soon right back here on the GH Report. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.